Peace and blessings, peace and blessings. How you feeling tonight?
Peace, peace. I am in high vibrations. It is a wonderful Jupiter day and I feel very expansive. How are you?
Blessed. I can't complain. I can't complain about nothing. We back in the building with Miss Rebel Divine herself, the goddess. How you how you been since the last time we had you on?
I have been enjoying. I really appreciated the conversation that we were able to have, and thank you so much to everybody that watched our last live together. And we look forward to doing many more together. I've been enjoying life and living out experiences and doing the work. Honestly, like I've been doing the fucking work. I come here very humble tonight from doing the work.
I say, I named this one Black August 3. And I wasn't for sure if I wanted to name it Black August 3, but then you were like, yeah, I'm ready. Like I'm the rebel, I'm Rebel Divine, you know what I'm saying? So I'm with it. I want to see what we're talking about tonight. Peace of blessings to the tribe, peace of blessings to the tribe. We got Rebel Divine. She's about to break down some knowledge for us tonight from the ancient temple of Timbuktu, that 5% nation, and that divine feminine energy within the whole. We're doing Black August 3, and it's titled Shadow Work. Shadow Work. Like we were just saying, having this conversation, we would say we could fight all these other wars and all these other battles, but the first war we got to fight is within ourselves. So she's gonna break down a little thing about shadow work. August 3rd is my birthday. I'll say it's a happy birthday, goddess. That's that Leo energy, divine Leo
Happy
energy.
birthday, Leo energy.
Um, but yeah, with no further interruptions, what is Black August to you?
Ashe, peace everybody. I am Queen Rebel Divine. I am a mental health advocate and a healer and a community healer and just a lover of all things culture. I come humbly speaking as myself tonight, and um Black August is a period in which there were celebrations and homage being paid to revolutionary prison reformists and freedom fighters. And as I think back on the origin of what makes August so great, considering like where my people come from um and the revolutionaries that we have knowledge of and those that we don't,
I say,
it's a time for like honor and tribute. It is a time for August in general, right? August in general is a time for for tribute. It is a time for um mobilization and also a time for us to tap into our roots. Tap into our roots. I was telling King earlier that August is significant in the Farmer's Almanac as well. It's a great time for harvest and for us to pick up our crops and um, really look back on what we've been doing the last 3 quarters of the year, right? August is a powerful time for me. As a parent, my kids go to school, in August. So I think of that being like a time where like the clock feels like it's starting on somebody else's authority. And so yeah, it makes me want to move, it makes me want to grow, it makes me want to radicalize and mobilize and be revolutionary in my community. Yeah, August is impactful. Shout out to the Leo energy.
Leo energy, I say. I'm looking at a whole new way now, especially going a couple of years of seeing the Lionsgate port and understanding that and studying it more and more and understanding how many revolutionaries are born in August and how many revolutionaries we lose in August or that transcend in August. So yeah, that's amazing. We had a beautiful live last night, man. That was a classic. And we've been having a couple amazing lives in the last couple of nights. So I hope this one is going to be, I know this one's going to be just as amazing, especially all these amazing female leaders that we don't know anything about, that they've been hiding her story for way too long. The Addie Monroe, yeah, the Queen Khalifa's, We can talk about tonight I really want to talk about Ida B. Wells. Are you familiar with Ida B. Wells?
I'm familiar with Ida B. Wells. Yes, yes, a revolutionary. Born into slavery, ended up raising her six siblings at the age of 16 after her parents died. Yeah, amazing, amazing.
And one thing that I loved about her, I gotta say, is that in this day and time, they tricked everybody out their spot. They spot with the divine masculine, divine feminine energies, or in unison and may. But when people say ignorant stuff out their mouth, like, oh, black women aren't for black men and black women aren't for black women. And these days, in that day and time of Ida B. Wells, there was nobody fighting for black men's rights. There was nobody fighting. Like, a black woman can get away with a little bit, and she went through a lot herself. But when it came to black men being lynched and murdered and all these horrible things that we act like we don't want to remember happening to us in all these years, not too far off, this woman like came together. She was backstabbed by the NAACP. We could talk about that. She was backstabbed by several different organizations and things, but she kept continued to write, and she used her power, her divine feminine energy of not just teaching but writing and telling the stories of what was going on. So I think that is within itself. People think that revolution always means guns and everything else. Sometimes the most revolutionary thing you can do is write about it and tell your story, or
Mhm.
tell somebody else's story. And she told that story all the way to the Supreme. One time I want to say she beat the courts for standing her ground, and they she won. And in the process of
Yeah.
winning, that just showed you how weak and corrupt this system is, that even though she won her money, they never paid her money. And she still put on it. But that right there was enough to discourage anybody. And this woman still not only wasn't discouraged, she still put on for black men for years. That was her life's mission and career, to put on and help black men that didn't have a voice. And people say they were weak and everything else. When it was a fight in Tennessee, I can't remember what part of Tennessee it was, but they opened up a black owned store. That was the only sin they committed. They opened a black owned store in their own neighborhood, and it just so happened a white owned store was in their neighborhood and said they were competing with them in their neighborhood. So they got to fighting. Of course, they can't match up physically. So they called the police. They said these people, the black people, riot against them and everything else. And of course, the police are all that is tied in one. Those are original slave catchers. So we already know the story. They opened up the jail cells, snatched these, and these are young kids too. These weren't grown men, but the grown men and kids and all these white people did take their time to jump on these young boys, and then they took them out of the jail, the county jail, and did all so whatever your imagination says they did, that's probably what they did to them boys. From castrating them to do all sorts of other evil things to them, and they killed these young boys, and they hung them and did everything that they do that they've always been doing, and they took pictures and they put in their newspapers and all these different things. And it was Ida B. Wells that, because of course there was no repercussion about it. There was no even arrested about anything else. It was Ida B. Wells that wrote in the newspaper and told all about that everything that would happen and what they did. And she took their newspaper clips and showed in this small community of, let's say, 150 people. All those people were out there. So when they were like, all cavemen ain't racist, or all cavemen wouldn't do this, but all those people were out there and they had smiles. And the same way we talk about generational trauma, we act like they don't have some kind of generational problems too. You see some distant evil generational problems. You see what I'm saying? So with that being said, that also leads into shout out uh Addie Monroe. She didn't get her due just. And you gotta look her up. I'm not gonna take too much time with her. But when they talk about Madam C.J. Walker, that was a front. They stole Addie Monroe's legacy, and she was a revolutionary. Shout out Ida B. Wells, revolutionary. Of course, Queen Khalifa of the Americas, revolutionary. And even when it comes to that divine feminine energy, like a Set and Oshun, um, I think when we say revolutionary, we act like it's something that we're coming into, or a new energy. But in all actuality, that goddess energy, hasn't it always been revolutionary?
Yeah. Yes, yes, of course it has. I wanted to speak back on Ida B. Wells and people of the like, women of the like, pioneers of the like. Um, I totally agree that she was um an advocate for Black men and their equitable treatment that they should receive. She put forth a lot of energy in bringing attention to the um to the way that white people, male and female, would make sexual advances towards black people, and the black women could engage in it some, but the black men not only couldn't engage in it at all, but in addition to that, they would they would suffer fatal outcomes, at times, or just whatever. It would just be some type of uh, consequence of some sort. And so, her just bringing attention to that. I love how outspoken she was about, I'm gonna tell it to you straight, and I don't give a damn how you feel
Facts.
about it, because this is my truth. I have a lot of respect for her and her perseverance in being a revolutionary, in one that was catching these moments in time, like what you said about her writing, and her being a journalist, and her putting these things out. Yeah, she had all types of written publications that were out in syndication. She has what is called a red record book. I want to find that book. It's not one that really comes up, or you've been able to find that text online. But after that book was published, they burnt down the location in which she was pup printing things, and so they just, any way possible that they could try to get her to not tell the truth and to not challenge what wasn't right. They were trying to activate those things. So I give a lot of appreciation for women that pioneer in that way, and also for any of the timekeepers that there are, because we need people that are keeping time so that we can be able to reflect back on our history to know where we're going. And that brings us back to Black August. But all in all, there has always been a lot of divine feminine energy. In addition to Eda B. Wells Barnett, and advocating for black men, Afeni Shakur was another one of those,
I say,
especially as it pertains to the incarceration system, and the bias that police forces just tend to have. Yeah, yeah. She was a legal advocate. I was listening to some of her interviews, and she was saying that in the courtroom, just just say what you have to say. Go ahead and say what you have to say, because this isn't how they, and I'm just bringing it to present day. This isn't in a courtroom. In real life, it's not like it is on TV. So how somebody can say something, and then there's this a build up, and then it's like whatever, and then it just gets pushed past. Like, no, like, those things stay in the record. Those impressions get made on the jury, and on the judge as well. And so she was advocating for self representation alongside a lawyer during during criminal cases, as well as using your voice and advocating in the moment that is most optimal, in the moment that becomes public record, in the moment that really can be able to change how the community receives you. And by community in this aspect, I mean her peers, the jury. So yeah, I'm thankful for all of the feminine energy. I know that also later on in her life, she experienced more difficult circumstances, and so that kind of brings us to the shadow work today, and yeah, and just that divine feminine energy, which we're just so abundant in. Um, yeah, it's a few different names that stand out to me, in honor of that, and also just just without putting a body on it, the divine feminine in all of us, in all of us.
I
So
say
yeah.
I say balance. That goes into that whole when we were talking about the 42 laws of Maat as well. Like one thing about the revolution, like it starts with self. It starts with
Mhm.
knowledge of self. It starts with feeding thyself. It starts with a lot of different things. And I think that a lot of I'm watching a lot of news. I'm looking at a lot of these problems. A lot of problems are self-inflicted. A lot of problems are self-inflicted. While because at the same time, well, let's just talk about 42 laws of Maat. Are you familiar with the 42 laws of Maat?
I'm familiar that those are the ramifications to be able to cross over to a pleasurable afterlife. But
Well, I mean, what if they were saying that was for a pleasurable life right now, a present life? Because in the 42
mm,
laws of Miyat, I mean, they're really breaking down what to do in this life and have a good life this life. And I think if
okay.
we got back to that, like we're all about the matriarch. That's why I say shout out to Ida B. Wells, Addie Monroe, all these other goddesses, known and unknown. But when it gets to the 42 laws of Miyat, if you're going all the way to the highest matriarch, the Miyat energy, we all up under that feather, right? And
Hmm.
we try, like nobody's perfect, of course, but if we try every day to read, just to read the 42 laws of Mayat, it'll kind of set you up for success, so you don't go out there. If you keep that in your mind and you say like those same things, the things that you need help on the most, if you use those like a mantra to yourself, it'll really protect you from a lot of different things, a lot of different things that people, problems that people find themselves in. So the
Yeah.
42 laws of Mayat is the matriarch, a matriarch code, matriarch laws, like I said, the laws, you know what I'm saying? So most definitely look into the 42 laws of me. I believe when I say the revolution is most definitely, the matriarch is revolutionary within itself, even when you're talking about technology, spirituality, uh, just overall, like a lot of people accept oppression. And there's some women that the revolution has always been started with a woman saying, hell no, I'm not about to do it. A lot of
I
men will put
said
up with
no.
not, most people are naturally cowards.
Mm,
That's why in Leo season it represents that lion energy. That lion energy represents Christ. That's the one that rules, and it's also the one that most of the time sacrificed, because he's the one that really don't have the fear of the 3D matrix or that entity in general. I see you
mm.
got your whole Oshun energy popping. What's going on with that? You know about
Uh,
Oshun? You know about Oshun, or you just living Oshun right now?
I am living Oshun.
Living Oshun Loca.
Yeah, yeah. I am receiving and embodying the spirit of being in earth and being um a force of water and of nurture and groundedness. So I am yeah, I'm more so in confident energy today. So that's why we have this yellow on. And yeah, been able to bring forth my best version of myself, which would be that Leo energy too, right?
I say. That golden energy. There's nothing wrong with that. The chat, Goddess Fatima and a couple other people are saying how beautiful you are. Shout out to the Leos in the chat. Peridot is one of your stones. Carnelian is one of your stones. Ruby is one of your stones. You got to
Much
live
love.
up to that title, though. You got to live up to being a Leo. You got to live up to that responsibility. So, with all that being said, Goddess, and we talked about a lot of different things that were going on back then. So can we talk about like generational trauma? Is that a real thing, or is that something that we hide behind? Or generational trauma, is that a real thing?
Yes, yes, yes. It totally is, and it is something that gets stored and encoded into our DNA. Um, physiognomy. I don't know how to say the words. I think I can spell it, but I can't say it. But it's basically the way that our body adapts over time, and like physically and physiologically, there is like a process for that. And so, whenever our bodies are required to manage and cope with high stress, then that's going to inevitably rewire our our genetic code, our the way that our different systems in our body respond to different circumstances and things like that. So not only is it something that is biologically a thing, it's also sociologically a thing. It's also psychologically a thing. It's with our external environment, that's a thing. If you grow up in an area where people around you are doing drugs on the streets, they are robbing, they are killing, your family is in and out of prison, there's a lot of broken souls around you, you are definitely going to have some skewed ways about life. And it's going to change the way that, or excuse me, it's going to have impact on the way that you go into relationships and you start a family and you maintain a family. And so it takes a lot of intentional practice for it to not be a generational thing, because like it really is that like biological code that is also being impacted. Has to be.
That goes back into what we were talking about, emotional intelligence. Our last live. So most definitely, y'all got to go check out that last live because she broke it all the way down with emotional intelligence. They say that's why shadow work is so important. That's what we're about to get into. Most definitely, that's why shadow work is most important, because once we have those generational trauma, if you don't do your shadow work, that starts spreading out on everybody else. You start taking out on your kids. You start taking out on these women. The women's taking out on their men. Generational traumas, and like we have to identify the problem and break those cycles, and we break those cycles, then we start go talking about God mode and everything else and enjoying the Oshun energies and the blessings that the life really has for us, not for the next life, but this life right here. So,
Yes.
with that being said, generational trauma, what are some remedies that you would take if you felt like, damn, I can identify that this isn't normal. I'm too violent. I'm too easily aggravated. I'm too easily angered, or I'm too easily in fear. I'm too whatever kind of trauma it is, right? What
Mhm.
are some ways you can fix that? What are some things that we can do to fix that?
Mm, that's a good question. Thanks for asking that. Um, in relative to that, in a shadow work perspective, I would recommend to investigate the three layers of consciousness. So the first layer is the conscious. The second layer is the subconscious, with sub meaning beneath or under. And then we have the unconscious, which is the deepest recess of our mind and our past and our memory. So like from the actual name of like where our memories are stored is called the hippocampus in the brain. So it's like, yeah, where like everything is like a storage facility. But the unconscious is composed of more than that. I would say, yeah, the unconscious, it's more than that. So once you are being conscious of what you're doing around you, so that would be the laws of Maat, right? You're being conscious. Okay, so I'm not harming anybody. I've never taken food. I've never offended anybody on purpose. Any of those things. Then after that, you get into the subconscious. So like figuring out, why does this thing trigger me, or what is this thing that is triggering me? Yeah, no, why is whatever is triggering me. The subconscious is kind of interesting because the shadow could start there, right? On the cool. But I'm looking at subconscious as the reflex that our body gives. So like the like automatic responses that we get. So I think of the nervous system, like but I'm like hella nervous system stuff, like send me to the nervous system. So maybe that also includes like our thought patterns and stuff like that. So like if we think a certain way, then like we're gonna perpetuate those behaviors. So pay attention to like what you do automatically. Like slow down a little bit and pay attention to what you're doing automatically. Um is a way to be able to like sort through the subconscious. And then the unconscious is the work to get the what is this that makes me get triggered. So that's like that really deep part. That can be the place that we have to go where the repressed memories are, and the way that like it kept piling up. Um, it's a deep place. It's a deep place. So if someone was practically sorting through shadow work and they were isolating on their unconscious, that's meditation. Like
Mhm.
intentional meditation. That's no, I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna feel through the like jerks and the jolts of my of the subconscious wanting to do something else, because that's where those automatic thoughts come in, right? So it's like you gotta bring your conscious and your unconscious together and leave your subconscious out of it. So it's work.
I
It's
feel
work, but
so.
it's so empowering though to do it, because you know what and why things are happening, and be able to take power back and control. Like, how powerful is it for you to bring your unconscious conscious? Your conscious is like there is no there is no date that consciousness was born.
That's
There,
right.
that doesn't exist. That is infinite. That is infinite, and so to be able to bring your unconscious to your conscious, I think of like reaching down in a tornado and pulling out that piece, like, because this is where it all originates from, so but yeah,
No,
so
it's amazing. And you say the way you broke down conscious, I love it. You went right into it. And when people start saying it like it's a like they do the third word woke. Woke used to mean conscious. Conscious means knowledge, knowledge of self. Like you said, knowing the self and knowing what's wrong with you. We've been talking about that the last couple of lives. Uh, Me and my brother Arisha Gabe on the Satan Network, we were just did the whole mental health thing, and that's a real thing. Mental health, being conscious, conscious of yourself, and you said triggers. Triggers was a big one. We're talking shadow work. So if you know what triggers you, me personally, I like the like we're gonna get this stuff out the way now. I need to know the problem. As soon as we know the problem, we're going to go get the remedy. For
yeah,
me,
exactly,
I'm
exactly.
I'm the type of person I really like shrooms. I know that might be fast forwarding a little bit, but
Mhm.
I don't want him to get the doctor. He gonna get a long route and try to want to draw it out and everything else so he get paid. But me personally, when I first was like in a lot of deep depressions or whatever, and I was trying to figure it out, shrooms. Because
Mhm.
shrooms, the first thing it does, you were talking about your consciousness, and you were saying you were speaking to somebody like a higher version of yourself. That's exactly when you're on shrooms, you're speaking to the higher version of yourself. Your future self is your highest version. He's got to the highest version of yourself. You know what I'm saying? So with all these realities, you're talking to somebody that can tell you which direction to go. What's not when you come back from a shroom trip? I'm sure you know when you come back from a shroom trip, all the petty stuff really don't matter no more. You realize there's a whole lot more things going on.
Mhm.
And when you're talking about shadow work, you can it's so many different things you can do from sitting in a dark room on shrooms or getting in a tub with the light out on shrooms and just sitting in the tub to going into nature on shrooms. Just try it. You know what I'm saying? And see how far when you talk about shadow work means going within. And
Yeah.
sometimes places like that really, really helps. It fast forward a lot of the bullshit. It cleanses, it gets rid of all that gunk and bullshit we've been under all this pressure. So
Right. Right. Yeah, you know what? I also enjoy plant-based supplements, like to be able to get to that like place of shadow work, like the work location faster. I also like to use plant supplements for that. What was I gonna say? Um I also encourage people to fast. To
ooh,
fast, because with the 72-hour fast, your organs start to regenerate themselves.
fact.
There are just amazing. I encourage you to please look it up and what a fast can do for your body, like the whole body. Like we do not need to eat every 2 or 3 hours. Like we really do not. And the hardest part might be the first day because your body is so accustomed to having sugar or
Can
having
you talk up just a little
caffeine
bit?
or huh?
Can you say it just a little bit louder? Because what you're saying is really important. Yeah, can you talk up just a little bit? That's important. What you're saying, I need run that one back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm encouraging for the people to fast. A 3-day fast does amazing things for our bodies. We do not need to eat every 2 or 3 hours. We do not need to even have water if we are prepared. It's a such thing as a dry fast, and it does wonders for the organs in your body, including your brain. So I really recommend that. I really recommend like to prepare yourself for it. If you're gonna go into a 3-day fast, or build up to a 3-day fast, it's a practice of mental fortitude. So it could just think of it like that, because like your brain, it doesn't necessarily need food. It needs the nutrients that come with food, but if it don't have those nutrients, it still works. And I encourage everybody to do a 3-day fast, and then maybe try shrooms, because then you could also microdose it, and and feel impacts without like the shrooms also having to fight with anything else that your liver might be processing too. So I think that could be a more gentle introduction to anybody that hasn't used that type of plant-based medicine before.
I hear you better now. You can hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. I don't know what's going on. It got low for a second, but no, I heard what you were saying about the fasting and everything else and microdosing. Somebody in the comments going crazy. Yes, Doctor Africa talked about that a lot. Starkey W11 said lion's mane. Lion's mane is most definitely amazing. And reishi
Yes, I
mushroom
agree.
also helps. And the reason we talk about this because it's Black August, and the revolution is also how we heal ourselves. Like healing ourselves is revolutionary right now. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to be.
Yes.
Everybody want to be messed up. Uh, let me
Yeah.
see.
Oh, also, I love lion's mane, or any of those adaptogen blends. And I'm glad that got introduced, lion's mane as a non-psychedelic, because yes, there are a lot of mushrooms that we can benefit from that won't cause any other type of reactions except for energy and focus, and clarity. So things like that too. So yeah, there are a few mushroom coffee brands that I enjoy that work really well, like as it pertains to being able to sustain long periods of focus in a world that is built to distract us, right? So
That part. So yeah, no, that they sometimes we say things and we say them so gentle and they float right by, but we don't acknowledge that how serious of what you just said, that like there's distractions everywhere. And I'm
yeah.
telling you, if you can get up every day and look at, if you just print it out on your printer and post it on your refrigerator or post it in your mirror or something, put the 42 laws, or just think about it, you got a cell phone, just pull up the 42 laws of Maat every day and read those every day and try to keep that in your mind like a mantra. And I'm telling you, it will eliminate a lot of distractions out your way. You shouldn't care how many bottles of baby oil did he got. You shouldn't care about nothing that ain't got nothing to do with you. We shouldn't care about, you know what I'm saying? From where to get, oh man, your local shaman, American Indian mama, big mama, your local, somebody that's medicine men. Find you a good medicine man or a medicine woman. You know what I'm saying? Don't just get it from anywhere. Um, but yeah, yeah, look into you have a wherever, I'm not sure where you're at. Where are you right now? American Indian mom. Shout out Ace, shout out Ace. Uh
Yes, peace,
God Mode
everybody.
Gemini, 42 laws of Mayat. Yeah, we're talking about the 42 laws of Mayat now because we're talking about shadow work, and we really want to understand how to start fixing ourselves. And that
Yeah.
means like I'm sorry, what you say?
Oh, I was agreeing with you, but whenever you say for us to overstand ourselves, and putting that in correlation to the 42 laws, we have to have a belief system that we hold near, dear, true. We practice it. We show up for it all the time. Like we are committed to ourselves. Like we have to commit to ourselves. You know, it's so important for us to show up for ourselves in our fullness every day, and every day is a practice. Like, I mean, a baby that's learning how to walk, they practice every day. They do not just say, you know what, yep, and then they just start walking once and they can just do it like that, you know. And so with us putting forth the effort of truly grasping all parts of ourselves in our complete fullness and our infinite self as well. We have to like stand on business about ourselves
Instead of business,
and,
man, right?
and have like a creed that we live by. Like, no, like, I'm not gonna wrong nobody else. Like, and it has nothing to do with because I don't want nobody to wrong me, because that's
They
not what a
missing the
righteous
point.
person is supposed to do. That's not the conscious don't give a damn about none of that. The conscious is as old as time. It don't care about none of that. It was it was the first. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like the conscious don't care about ego or about our fear. We will be impoverished in our spirit if we don't address the shadow stuff.
I
Because
feel
we're not
something.
gonna understand what is wrong with us and why we can't dream more. Unless we just completely contempt, and that's okay too. That's absolutely okay. I don't feel sorry for anybody that don't want to travel. They don't want to. So why would I feel bad about that for them?
Facts.
You
But
know what
like
I'm
I
saying?
say, nobody really exists. Everybody's just a figment of the next person's imagination. If they say knowledge yourself and they say love that self, you got to focus on yourself too to do those things. So to love yourself and to have knowledge of yourself is to focus on yourself. So a lot of problems can be avoided in this 3D matrix. And like you said, some of them don't want to step outside the matrix because they're not what you are. Some of them are non-playable characters. Some of them not real. You know what I'm saying? So you got to realize some people are just sent to distract you. To the guy that's in there. Oh wait, they said some fire. God Mo Gemini said cayenne pepper, cinnamon, honey, and lemon tea will heal almost anything. I appreciate that.
I need that
Uh,
spice mix.
it only takes 21 days to create a healthy habit. Ashe.
Right.
While they said help to revive the language of our ancestors, truth. Teach your children to do the same. Speak truth always. Ashe.
Right. Yes, absolutely. Speak truth always. Know your
American
history.
American. I'm catching these comments now because
Yeah.
you got a lot of compliments as well. American Indian Mama, you do have medicine men in Tampa. Holla at Arisha Gebe on the Outstate Network. He knows all. He's in Tampa. He knows all everybody from everybody that knows everybody. So holla at him in Tampa. He most definitely can help you out.
That's positive.
Uh, Let me see. God Mo Gemini said that is a true queen right there.
Give thanks.
Rebel Divine.
Give thanks.
Boom.
Give thanks. Give thanks. Yeah, you guys can go follow me on Instagram at Rebel Divine.
I
I
say
post stuff sometimes. I'm gonna get more
she,
frequent. But
she
I do
say
have a
look.
lot of events. I do have a lot of events. And yeah, and it makes me think of like shadow work. I did an inner child healing um experience at our cultural arts center, and it was really powerful. It was really powerful. And you know, I honestly think that our shadows aren't like super far away. We can literally see our shadow. Like that's like a real thing, you know? And so if we're willing to break it down into different parts versus thinking that there's a shadow underneath a shadow underneath a shadow underneath a shadow, and we just break it down into different parts, we are able to put together a lesson plan. I mean, excuse me, we are able to put together a treatment plan for us to be whole and for us to be able to be our highest self, because we have addressed all of the parts of ourself that are poor, and the parts of ourselves that are unknown. But we really get to bring all of those things together to be a righteous person, like to where we're making the right decisions and we are moving in the right way. And so I really will that everybody is able to explore their shadows and not think that they have to deal with all of them at one time. Just because you found out that this person did this, it does not mean that you need to go and talk to them about it today. And you know that you've been working on your communication and you fly off at the mouth fast, and they may not, you may not have all of the language that you want to use yet, but you still gonna go talk to that person. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? That is you ignoring your shadows that are right there, like the ones that you know that you need to deal with, and yet you'll still bring other people into your shadow. Please, no, thank you. I have my own shadow that I have broken down into all of these different parts. And my job now is for me to reduce the amount of parts that are fragmented of my shadow. And so
Yeah,
I invite
son.
everybody to do the same.
No, I just learned that recently. I don't give my energy away no more. Like I really, if there's nothing that I can gain from talking to you, there's nothing to talk about. You know what I'm saying? So like, if I'm in a situation where I'm around a bunch of people, and you know how certain kind of entities of spirit jump on, they ride bodies to you to come talk to you and everything else, you can avoid a lot of problems by, is this person even worth talking to? Is
Right.
this
Just
person
shut
even
the
worth
fuck
the
up.
time? You know what
You
I'm
get away
saying?
with a lot of
I'm
problems by
seeing so
shutting
many
the fuck
people.
up.
So many people are going to jail, or getting in bad situations or even worse situations over something they can avoid. Minute, silly stuff. And it's because of the frequency. It's because we're not taking time to fast and reboot. Like, wait a minute, we got to reset this whole thing right now. Because if you don't take time to reset your reboot your system, anything will set you off. You will trip out. You know what I'm saying? It's matrix, you'll bug out. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
There's a lot of processes that are gonna break down in that too. Like if you don't know how to reset. I think of my PlayStation. If my PS5 is running for too long or goes too long being ran without being clean, it's a problem in the fan. And I'm gonna have to take it apart and rectify that before I can use it. And our psyche is the same way. Our brain is the same way. And like how much do we think about how we're taking care of our brain? It's so many of us that have family members that are passing from neurological degenerative diseases such as dementia and Alzheimer's, and yet we practice a "I'll sleep when I die" work ethic. That don't make no sense. That's a shadow to deal with, and that's one of those like generational things, right? Because we know that lack of sleep, it truly is a death sentence.
yo,
So
going back
we
to
just have to
that mental
listen.
thing,
Hmm?
I know we say stuff and we fast forward past it, but you said about the mental and cleansing your mind and everything else, and we say it so gracefully we'll pass by it. But Starkey once again put in a dope comment when they said lion's mane mushroom heals. That's
Yeah.
really for your and reishi mushroom help your mind. Ashwagandha helps your mind. So those are different things that can really reboot your system. Get that all this stuff. They're poisoning the food. They're poisoning the air. They're poisoning the water. You think you don't need to reboot of all these years of trauma and trauma and trauma and trauma and trauma and then drama on top of that trauma. So no, nah, man. Other than that, you got any upcoming events coming up in Timbuktu anytime soon?
Yes, yes. It is wicked out here, you guys. So please take care of yourself. And, if you're watching this, then I know that you are walking the path of a good direction. And I'm appreciative of you because it allows us to be able to walk towards the same community and be able to develop a nation of people that understand that we need to walk together and we need to bring as much of our complete self and our most high self, because that's what we deserve. That's what our conscience deserves. yeah, our conscious as in like the origin of conscious. And that's what the community deserves. That is what the children deserve. That's what the elders deserve, whoever. Um to answer your question, yes, upcoming events. I do have a couple. So I will be at Timbuktu on Sundays. I host a meditation. The event is called Sacred Sundays, and we get started around 6. I host one or two meditations. It really just depends on like what the person decides, but I'm there to do two. And we go on a journey through the ethers. I speak life into the participants, and we enter into a portal together where they feel safe enough to venture out on their own. And so I'll be doing Sacred Sundays at Timbuktu on which we are located at 2649 MLK Drive Southwest on the west side of Atlanta. So if you guys are out here, please check us out. If you guys are not out here, please check us out. You can find us online on Instagram at Timbuktu ATL. And yeah, we got some amazing programs happening. We have just a lot of things that are in forward motion, and we are going to really change the community over there. So yeah, so got that going on the Timbuktu Sunday, Sacred Sundays at 6. And September 13th, I will be hosting the Soft Life Soiree, which is a collaboration I have with Atlanta Black Faith Fest. I just have to give them just so much love. Oh gosh, I love everybody over there. And I will actually have some Marisha Stone pieces for sale. So if you guys are in Atlanta, I have on one of the beautiful, beautiful creations right now. He been
Hold on, my bad. Do that again. I'm
humble and
tripping.
he said nothing about it.
I'm tripping.
Yeah, can y'all see? Mm, mm, mm.
How does it feel though? Like, does it feel good or does it just look good?
Ah, it's so powerful. It's so powerful. So powerful. I am yeah, I feel very held because this thing is covered in amethyst, and amethyst is really one of those grounding stones for me. And as I am spending so much time in my pineal gland, that purple, it really expands the aura that my pineal gland is picking up, and I'm able to get down to center, and it feels really fucking good. And so yes, it feels great. Yes, feel very protected,
So
guided and guarded and happy.
you said every Sunday you have an event. What was the name of your event Sundays?
Yeah, Sacred Sundays.
Sacred Sundays. Do y'all accept vendors and like if somebody you got a lot of talent in Atlanta. If they want to come to Atlanta and vend on Sacred Sundays, could they pull up on in Timbuktu and vend?
I would encourage them to do that. Yes,
Ooh.
absolutely.
So you're telling
Absolutely.
me that every Sunday, y'all got an opportunity to come vent at a black-owned venue with some master teachers of Supreme Understanding, Timbuktu, Rebel Divine, and they can come vent there and practice black economics and make them some money and work for themselves. But all these different artists and all this talent in Atlanta, pull up, man. That make sense. Um,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, you guys reach out to us on Instagram at Timbuktu ATL and send us a message. Let us know what it is that you're interested in. Excuse me, because we host a lot of different programs, and so we also want to know what the people would like to have happen around them too. That is the one of the ways that we're able to really serve the community and contribute to the community is by us knowing what the community wants and needs to see and wants to feel, so yeah, so we have that going on. Yeah.
so back to the shadow work, the light. Back to the shadow work, right?
Nice little commercial break. That's funny.
No, yeah, no, I gotta put on for y'all too, man. Because like I say, there's not a lot of people that's pushing light, especially in a place like Atlanta where you can cash out doing some stupid stuff. You really damn you get a lot of views for ignorance. A lot of people are invested in ignorance. A lot of people are invested. A lot of people don't care. Now, when you talking about, we talking about It's Black August. We took the time to care about those revolutionaries, those Fred Hamptons, those all these revolutionary people that we're trying to remember. And we're trying. If I didn't catch them all this time, check out Black August 2 with Tahir RBG and Rod Hayes, and Black August 1 with Rod Hayes. Like we're giving y'all the game. Sometimes we talking fast, but we're telling y'all different kind of ancestors that really put on and really laid it out. And they're not telling you about these people. They're not telling you about E.W. Wells and how she put on for black men, a black woman that she could have had her way. She was having her way. She could have been peaceful. And she was put on and fighting for black men, or the Mary Turners that fought and died for black men. So that a set energy that fights to revive and heal black men. Now I feel like a set is the same as that Oshun energy. And each one of those entities, I don't look at them like the God that we are supposed to bow down and worship. We need to embody those energies with, like, you become the avatar. When you're wearing all gold right now, you're the avatar of Oshun. What does that mean? I embrace, like you said, nurturing and all that divine with everything that comes with it. You see what I'm saying? Healing and love and kindness and all those different things that we've forgotten about in the world. So hold up. Somebody help me out. I think they said I really have so much to say, but not just yet. I'm here for our people. I'm trapped inside the source, also trapped into Mother Nature. I am a star seed, light worker, earth angel, alchemist, healer. I'll say.
Okay.
What stones? We're talking about shadow work. So we're gonna get serious about it, and we get on the esoteric aspect. What
Mhm.
stones do you think that? Stones do you use in sessions of shadow work? Tongue twister.
Mhm. So I like to use obsidian.
Ooh,
Um, I like to use rose quartz for that like self-love. It allows me to be able to like return to center a lot. Center. Um, I use a let me see. It's right here, but I can't think of what it's called.
peace and blessings to the tribe. Everybody coming in. Please give the goddess Queen Rebel Divine a like, a comment, share, follow her, follow us, subscribe. Let me see.
It,
Hold on. Let me type you in.
hold on. It's been being activated here lately. But it looks like
You know
this.
what? That's the second time somebody's pulled that up. That's opalite. You know,
Opalite.
yeah,
That's all I'm speaking, but
I just did a show with Richard Danny on the spiritual properties of crystals and gemstones, and he pulls a stone out. So we had this whole thing about opalite. Opalite is cool because it has real minerals in it, but it's a man-made stone. What they did, the same thing when they do with goldstone, is they take
Mhm.
all these different minerals or elements and they combine it themselves and just practicing whatever, and they came up with opalite. But it's a man-made stone, but it does have it has a real funny energy because a lot of people. I was attracted to it myself one time. I just when they say man-made, automatically it turns me off. You know what I'm saying? I really like
Yeah, understandably
I
so.
like
It's from
everything comes from
Medieval.
Big Mama. You see what I'm saying? When it comes from the mother energy, it's 10 times better. If you look at a real opal, Ethiopian opal or Australian opal, that's what they were trying to mimic. Uh
Understood. Thank you. Thank you for that
no, but
knowledge.
it has those properties, it has properties in it, and it's amazing. It's a beautiful stone
Hmm.
too. So
Right.
yeah. But that was three. I couldn't mean to cut you off. That was number three. What's your next one? That's opalite.
Mm, I don't know. I don't know. I'm probably gonna stop there because sometimes I'll just like grab stones that are calling to me in those moments.
Exactly.
And
And there's
and as I'm doing shadow work stuff, I seek stones that are going to promote astral projection
oh,
and also a like heavenly presence. And then the yin and yang energy, so that dark and light contrast as well. But
okay.
yeah, it'd be difficult for me to say what y'all
No,
want. What
you
about
said
you?
it. When you said it, let me fill it in for you. When you said one to help you astral travel, I would
Hmm.
that one's called Numite. Are you familiar with Numite?
No, I haven't heard of Numite.
Look up Numite. Numite is amazing for astral travel. And it's when you said obsidian, I knew you was on the money because obsidian you can use to scry into. Whereas astrophyllite, it helps you to like go through different realms and different dimensions, or different. When you're saying different realms of different dimensions, you're talking about in yourself. And when you're in that triple, when you look at a Numite, you see those little flashes of light in it.
Mm-hmm.
when you're holding that in your hand, those flashes of light give you lightness in that triple darkness of trying to. It helps you find yourself. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
look into new might, and then you said one to help you talk to other realm beings, celestite. It's like a blue, beautiful blue, uh, looking stone. Is real fragile. It's a soft stone, but it's an angel stone. You can communicate with all sorts of spirit. It's a blue stone. Blue is for communication. You're Cancer, right?
Yes.
So Cancer, yes, Celestite. Look into Celestite. It's also that
Mm-hmm.
water energy, it's communication energy, but it's communication to the spirit realm. It's one of the highest vibration, not highest vibration. I always say that highest uh stones you can use to communicate on both sides. You use that for angel work, light work, and everything else. Look up Celestite. So
Gotcha.
now on mine, I would go deeper because I don't mind playing on the dark side a little bit. So I would go Jet. Are you familiar with Jet?
No.
Jet is you can control shadows. When we talk about shadow work, we don't know that shadows are an entity within themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like, are you familiar with the jinn?
With the who?
Are you familiar with jinn?
Jin.
Yeah, Jinn. Yeah, jinns.
Uh-uh. No.
Okay. Well, certain when you if we're gonna do certain shadow work, and in the shadow realm, there's their own entities, right? In other
Mm-hmm.
realms, rationally, we can understand there's other entities in those other realms. So to communicate to these other entities, we need to know how to deal with them. Whatever we want to call them, jinns, demons, angels. There's things way older than angels and demons too. So there's stones, like I said, Numite, Jet, that actually controls certain entities, keep them at bay. Jet controls shadows. So we talking about
Mm-hmm.
shadow work. Remember when in the movie Peter Pan, and his shadow was going against him sometimes because they weren't
Yes.
one.
Right.
Uh, Likewise, you see what I'm saying? So you become one with that your shadow, or you
Yes.
don't. But to control different shadows around you, because some shadows might not be your shadows, some shadows might not be your shadows. So Jet is
Right.
good for it. Numite is good for it. Also, we're just talking about shadow work, not just dealing with spirits though. So shadow work, like you said obsidian. So I got to say another one, selenite. Believe it or not, selenite is amazing for shadow
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a fan of Selenite. That is that girl. That's that girl. That's
I
that
feel
girl. Yeah. Yeah. We finna clear out all of this.
peace, unique tribe, peace, goddess. You always in the
Peace.
building. I'm doing shadow work and healing at the moment as well. We all should be. I say.
Yeah,
So yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. No, I mean, like we working on ourselves from the cradle to the grave. We working on ourselves from the cradle to the grave. One time I thought I had it figured out, and back to those shrooms, I thought I had it figured out, and then I take a Motempec or it was some kind of shroom. I go outside. I'm just sitting up looking at the sun, and something triggered me. We were talking about triggers earlier, and something triggered me. I don't know what it was, but it triggered me, and it reminded me of something that happened in my childhood. That your mind, like you were saying, subconsciously holds things in your mind that you forget about. But it's a map. Your mind is a map. All those lines and stuff in your brain,
Yes,
the map.
yes.
And we were forgetting that we left little clues. We left little breadcrumbs for ourselves to get back home. Since you were a child, you've been leaving those little breadcrumbs. It was things that you watched on TV. It was things that you heard in the music. It was something that you heard that's going to always different kind of smells, different kind of incense to always bring you back to yourself, to your true
Right.
self. And
Right.
like you said, there's a lot of distractions. So when you're on shrooms, there is no distract. Well, you can be distracted if you want to, but like you said, if you're fasting before you're going on these shrooms, you can talk to all yourselves. You talk to all these different versions of yourself. Your younger self is your past self. Your older self is your future self, and your present self is just as important as all. Is both of them. So you
Mm-hmm.
can communicate what when you're communicating with that past self, you don't really communicate, but you see it on a 3D or projector of, damn, I remember when this happened to me as a child. I remember when they were trying to program me with this message. I remember when I was initially programmed with the message. It got
Right.
me off track and distracted me from my higher self. And this is when, because we weren't attacked as adults, we were attacked as children. Everybody's being attacked as children. When they're putting the music out there, that's to attack the children. And those children grow up to be not so bright. And look at it when I'm saying that, I'm saying a lot of people are spending life in prison for something stupid. It was not warrior like. It wasn't revolutionary. It wasn't. We could have spent that energy for that all that warrior, all that stuff that y'all be doing. You could have been doing this on a sundown town if you were gonna crash out like that. You
Yeah.
could have been doing this on a lot of forces that are
Yeah.
coming down trying to hurt us. You see what I'm saying? So neither here or there. Uh, that goes back to that trauma thing. I think. Yeah, the map in your mind, the shrooms that have you talking to your past selves, and then you'll see it. And sometimes you gotta cry. Like crying is good for shadow work. Sometimes you gotta cry because you said you did something happened to you when you was a child that now you acknowledging that this affected your whole life up till now. And once you
Right.
identify that, you can either wash your hands from it because now I get it now. Now I understand where them triggers came from. Now I
Yeah.
understand why I get triggered because this happened to me when I was this age. And if now if you anything go wrong, that's gonna set me off or trigger me or whatever, right? So yeah,
Hmm.
that's an amazing thing. Shadow work when you're looking within yourself and finding how to heal yourself from the inside out. And that's talking to that the shadow self is also your younger self. And mirror work is also back heal the inner child. That's a real thing. Um, what was the name of the last stone you said? We said Numite,
Selenite.
Celestite, Selenite. That's right, Selenite. Selenite is a
Yes.
healing stone. It's a moon stone. Like the goddess said, it's a divine feminine stone. It purifies. It's a purifying stone. You can most definitely cleanse your chakras. Most demons are scared of it because it's demons aren't scared. I say this all the time. Demons aren't scared of knives and guns. They're scared of swords and none of that. They're scared of light. So selenite is like a heavenly light. You know what I'm saying? Celestite is any of those stones right there are talking about dealing with angel energies. When you start talking about doing the same way you can do shadow work, you can do light work and angel work and everything else. That's so true. I was making music and started cry out of nowhere. But it felt good after. That's real talk. After you get it out the way, because then you started then like it can only whoop you one time. That one time it whoop you, you go ahead and break down. You get me this time,
Right.
you know. But once it gone, we be back right again. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, it's nothing wrong with breaking down either. Like shit, that shit is healthy. At sometimes if you have been through some shit, you're gonna break down. If you don't, you're gonna break down at the wrong time. Like do that in the shadows. Do it in
Right.
the shadows.
Schedule
That's
time to break down.
the perfect
Schedule
time.
time to break down. No, that is
Yeah.
absolutely a
People
thing.
get online, they want to do it all on. Oh my God, what else do you want from me? No, that's not the time on the cameras. The time is when you're doing shadow work, when you are one on one with yourself. Go get in that mirror, and people don't understand that the mirror is its own spell within itself. You're not supposed to have mirrors in your house like that in the first place, but you use mirrors to do shadow work, or water to do shadow work, or like you said, the reason you said obsidian is because you can scribe into the obsidian and the same thing that we were talking about that I did on shrooms is the same thing you can do with obsidian without the shrooms. You stare into
Right.
the obsidian and talk to yourself, and yourself's gonna talk back. And it's different spells. This is a book here that explains that, but like I said, I'm not into that aspect of it right now. We're into the healing aspect of it right now.
Yeah.
Evil hidden agendas trigger me to the point that it bring God mode, and that's a real thing, bro. I'm the same way. I can't lie to you when you see it, but I also say that if you're in God mode, that means God, the true God, is a creator, and you have to create your own reality. So I create a reality that evil can't exist around me. Like there's I don't have to work for nobody. I don't have to be in nobody's face. If I don't like you, I don't have to talk to you. This world is wicked enough. We can't change the whole world. All we can do is solidify our place in this world and hope we can build the crystal city where we can have a bunch of like-minded people. But until then, we're gonna go to Timbuktu and go chill with them. You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
So
West Side. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I really appreciate the way that you're breaking it down for the people. I would like to take it even further, like so as someone is in the mirror and they are talking and responding to their innermost self, what do we do with that energy after that, right? Because now it's like, oh, I've gotten down to the root of the problem, so I've gotten down to the first domino that fell. Now I see all these dominoes laid out, and I'm connecting the dots on these dominoes that they are connected. So it can bring, I'm not gonna lie, like shadow work, it brings a lot of things to the surface So like crying and getting that out, screaming is one. It can be fighting things off, right? If there was a time that somebody felt powerless, fighting and swinging things, swinging a pillow around or chopping at the ground or stabbing into the ground or just whatever it was, whatever your experience actually needed from a protective aspect of yourself. The good news is that like you get to relive it and then like write a new testimony for it. However, also whenever you go into the shadow and you get reintroduced to that memory, it's gonna bring up those feelings again. It's going to inevitably bring up those feelings again. And just as the king was saying, getting 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 through those sorry, it's going to bring those feelings up again, and it's going to require us to like choose how we gonna crash out about it. It's gonna make us have to choose, like, so are we gonna like schedule this time like to now like work through this fucking Pandora box of feelings that have come up, because now we're gonna want to change everything about our lives. Like, damn, I never actually liked that. It was because this shit happened when da 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 da. So now I probably need to quit my fucking job because I blah 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 blah. Now everything that you've done, you don't have any tolerance for it anymore
That's
because
okay.
because you did the shadow work. So, be prepared about what is like in that other side, not even on it, but what's in that other side, because like shadow work is necessary. You're gonna have to forgive yourself a lot. You're gonna have to like really be prepared to say, it is not your fault. It is not your fault. You didn't. No, you didn't want that to happen. You were apologetic because you didn't mean to, or you wasn't trying to hurt nobody, and your intention over the impact, it didn't align, or whatever it is. You have to forgive yourself for it, and you have to believe the apology. You really have to believe the apology. And you may just spend one night just writing, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I forgive you, I forgive you, I forgive you. Like to be able to get through that.
No,
So I wanted to introduce that aspect of it, because like, yes, you do have to choose. Okay, now that I know this, now that I realize this, what am I finna do with this information? Am I finna go and seek revenge? Am I going to like that just hurts you more, because however long ago this inner child, I mean, yeah, however long ago this inner child experience happened, you have lived X amount of years since then. So it hasn't been taken over your life in all aspects. So just pay attention to the aspects that it did take over, and be prepared to forgive yourself for now having that as your aspect from an optical perspective. Um, you got to be ready to do that. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, that like it's going to be a lot of things that come to the surface, and you can't just jump ship in your life because you've made these realizations and you've made these connections. However, if your intuition says run, because that's your intuition, because you done tapped into the consciousness, you've brought that unconscious conscious now you can bring that expansion to born. Run. Run, put your shoes on and run, but don't fuck everything and fuck everybody, because for some people, for most people, I think that's not what needs to happen. You probably need to go and confront the people. You probably need to go and challenge the people. You probably need to go and bring light to the people. You probably shouldn't avoid it. But I do know that there are circumstances for others where they got to get the fuck up out of there. So just be prepared for whatever emerges on the other side as you are bringing your inner child to born. Peace.
you know what? I really think, like I said, and I did mine the crash course way. I did it with the shrooms, and with the shrooms, I also say go somewhere beautiful. Go somewhere positive. When we said cry or let it out or do it or scream, do it. You're doing it. Do it. Go to the springs. Go into the woods somewhere because that's the most beautiful place to do it when you ain't got to worry about nobody being in your way and the trees understand. They will not judge you. I swear they won't. They won't tell nobody either. You go out there and just let it go. They straight. You know what I'm saying? The springs. You ever been to the springs?
Yes.
Like you go and go get in the water like that whole soon energy and just let it run off you. A lot of times you can't do anything about it if it's a trauma. This is years and years and years and years. So matter of fact, like the guy that said, you must be at peace with all that has happened, is happening, and will happen. Forgiveness is the key. And some stuff it ain't about forgiveness per se because if you got a trauma, a lot of times something was done to you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It ain't like shit. You owe a motherfucking explanation for shit, but some things were designed to set you up for it to become like it'd be weird. You be talking to that little dude or you be talking to that little girl inside yourself, and she be like, "Well, can we make sure this won't happen again?" And she activated the
Right.
superhero in you. She
Right.
activated the superhero in you, and you became the person to make sure it don't happen to the next person. So you became the change you wanted in the world through having that conversation. It ain't about revenge. It ain't about taking it to the next day and the next day. Half the time after you cry and let it go, because if it's real trauma, this is years and years and years embedded in you. So ain't nobody let it go. That's the problem. I've been letting it go on the wrong people. That's the
Mm-hmm.
problem. I'm getting like this
Including
person,
on myself. Yeah.
including my damn self. Like I ain't going
Right.
hard. I need to go
Me
harder.
first, and then everybody else. Like
And everybody
y'all
goes,
get in
you know what
line
I'm saying?
behind
So,
me. I'm
so
finna
you have a
go
different
sabotage.
conversation. You got so much stuff caught up, and then you got to when you look at that map and go back to the original thing. When you were a kid, you know exactly what you were going to be when you grew up. You know exactly what you were going to do. I just knew I was going to be a dragon when I grew up. That was my full time job. So you know what I'm saying. So you knew you were going to be a fairy when you grew up. That was your full time job when you grew up,
Of
right?
course.
So so it's just getting back to that spirit self, having a conversation with self, let go of the trauma, and then like I said, when you think you let go of all the trauma, you're gonna have some more trauma. You got to keep digging, keep cleansing.
Right,
It
right.
ain't
It
like
is
a
a
one-time
never
thing.
ending journey
Your
on the
car, this is
inside.
a vehicle. This is a vehicle. Your car needs the oil change once a month. You might need some shrooms once a month. You might need some DMT. You might need some therapy. So therapy ain't
You might
we,
need
we,
to
we
fast once a month. Yeah.
back fast once a month, twice a month. Because then your mind and your body won't be like you can see through the illusions. You can see things coming before it comes to you. If this is gonna be a problem, I can identify this because I mean, how long have you been living on this earth? There's nothing new under the sun.
Nope.
There's nothing new under the sun.
This
So you
is
can
the
see
same water that has always been on the planet. This is the same air that has been blowing for millions of years. Like, I mean,
the
a
same
very,
problem.
very, very long time. A
For the
very long
same
time.
with the same problems. Just like you said, the same water, same air, same problems. How do we have the same problems? How are people still having the same problems now that we were having in 1995, 1985?
Not
You
knowing
said
their history, easy. That's easy. That is very easy.
shout
Not
out Black
knowing
Owners.
their history, because when somebody doesn't know their history from a scientific perspective, that means that you do not have enough data to be able to create an educated guess about what could possibly happen. Like, you can't predict the future because you don't have any information to be able to base the future on. So know your history, to know about what type of tactics that the devils use to keep us oppressed in all forms over time, right? So not just in the civil rights era of the 50s and the 60s. Like, let's take it back like to the 1700s, and then let's go back maybe to the 400s, and then let's go back before the AD, which is the birth of Jesus, right? So let's go back before that too, and let's learn about like where we come from, and where the people that tend to always identify as the oppressor, as the aggressor, where do they come from? Like,
Mm,
go all the way back, because even getting back to our conversation that we had at the top of this about Mrs. Wells Barnett and her advocating for men that had gotten lynched, that was something that kickstarted her her civil rights journey, right? They were doing that before that, right? And before that, it may be like castration or dismemberment or dingo fights, the Mandingo fights or something like that. And then let's go back before that, like what was happening, and then back before then what was happening, because there's nothing new under the sun. And while while technological advances of all sorts change over time, so the way that people may tear you down is different, that doesn't mean that there isn't some type of trend in the same motherfuckers being the one that tear everybody down. And so
I
us just paying attention to that, to where we can get enough data together to be able to predict, well, what's going to be the next trend, like what's going to be the next way that they try to enslave our mind and our creativity and break up our people and keep us in duress, because there's so many of us that are bringing the unconscious conscious. Um they're bound to choose something new to do it. We know that they are doing it in the food and making a lot of food that has no nutritional value, that has no like real products in it. We know that they're doing that. Okay, so do you know what type of like medical advancements that they're also going to make that's not in your favor, that you're also going to need to use because you decided to eat the food at McDonald's right now? You have that data now. Why would you not be able to predict the future unless you don't have it? Because that's what creates fear, is the lack of knowledge. So go and get you some so that we don't keep having the same thing. Because what I can tell you right now is that my children, they see the world a totally different way than the YNs and some of these other babies that do not have a lot of guidance, and they come from our generation that did not choose to guide them, and we came from a generation that chose to not guide. Like, we got the data that our families have been broken, so why we not changing it?
facts.
So I bring it all back to not knowing our history. We cannot predict the future.
Well,
Not we as in me, but I'm saying that like as a whole.
I don't want to skip past this brother right here, God Mode Gemini. I'm 52. I had my first child at 16 and my second at 20. However, my biggest heartbreak is feeling as though that I failed as a father. Am I being exposed to sex way too early? So I don't see how that's a failure on your part if you were exposed to sex too early. That has nothing to do with you were in a failure. At 52 years old, those were way different times when you were 16, first of all. So you didn't do anything that a lot of people did when you were 16. At 52 years old, um, the only way you can fail as a father is if you're just not there at all. Like if you gave them, if you're alive right now, you can't fail them now. Get your life insurance policy. You won't fail them. Or talk to them every day. Tell them the information. You ain't failing them. Invest in something that makes sense for them. You won't. You can't fail them. If you can't do them those things, just give them knowledge. Give them knowledge of their grandma. Give them knowledge of their great grandma. Like if you're
Yeah.
alive right now,
Mhm.
I can't accept you calling yourself a failure. If you're alive right now, typing, you know what I'm saying? That anything that happened to you, you can't put that on yourself as being a failure. And being exposed to sex way too early. What does that have to do with your success? You see what I'm
Or
saying?
your children, and your relationship with them. I love those tools that you shared with him, King, because yes, like we need those like practical things that we're able to do. A life insurance policy, it is a great way to be able to do that. Sharing our historical information, that is an amazing way to do that. And working to show it for our children now, is something that is a lifelong journey that for the most part, as long as we didn't too crazy, our kids will invite us to be able to be on that journey together. I want to just share that I have my first son at 16 and my second son, excuse me, my first son at 17 and my second son at 19. And so, as I was saying earlier, my children are not like these kids that are running around on the street, because I grew up with them. I grew up with them, and the most intelligent guys the most intelligent guys. And I'm learning as both of them are now in high school that they truly are more more so like the kids of my generation than their own. And that is so beneficial to us because one, we've always been able to talk to them in plain language because we were developing our language package just as we were teaching them how to talk. So we've been able to communicate to them in plain language. They've been able to safely see how life could be with irrational decision making and not forward thinking decision making. I know that my sons have learned so much because of the journey that they witnessed me and their father be on together. I know that has been such a large educational piece, which is how they're so wonderful now. And yeah, so I just encourage you to forgive the parts of you that like haven't made peace, that you weren't perfect all of the time, because the reality of it is that the consciousness, the awareness that you have of this that has you feeling guilty was not the consciousness and awareness that you had whenever you were doing those acts. And that is like having sex up to, I was supposed to be here for this and I wasn't there. Like in any of those things, the consciousness that you have was not present at that time. There's no way, because just as the king said earlier about about us, shit, sorry,
You okay?
the
No,
consciousness that we didn't have, um damn, I'm sorry, it
no,
left me, but in all seriousness though, like
I'm
we
with
have
you.
to give ourselves grace, like in those moments to even in these moments, to give ourselves grace, because we are always evolving and we're always expanding, we're always growing, we're always changing, and we're always coming to new realizations. So as
So
long as you are willing um to apply the fact that I don't want to feel guilty or regret or shame anymore, then that's how you gonna feel. But like show up, show up the best that you can, in a way that helps bring peace in you. But
when I
that's
tell you,
it's certainly a shadow to conquer.
not even to conquer. I'm sorry, 1,000 pardons. Not, I ain't trying to correct you or cut your wisdom at all, but not even to conquer. The thing about it is, the
Mm,
things that they in our mind, once you realize, you talk to yourself, however you do it, do the shadow work, however you do it, right? But once you
mhm.
realize it, it's not about conquering it. It's about, now I know who I, knowledge yourself. Now I know who I am. Now I know that we're not
Right.
two different things. We're one. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Instead
Yeah,
of
that's
seeing,
true. I like that.
you probably never was into this, but a Fight Club, per prime example, that was one entity. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of different energies that once we realize, once we stop running from it, I am the little boy. I am me present. I am me in the future. That means I got to the future. You see what I'm saying?
Right,
And right
right.
now,
Higher self. Uh-huh. That's what I
yeah,
was gonna
you are
say.
yourselves. And shit, fuck
Yeah.
that. My job is to make sure nothing happens to no more little boys like this little boy. You see what I'm saying? We're so quick to say fuck everybody because something bad happened to me. That's the worst way to look at it. Oh, I'm gonna stay soft
Right.
forever. No, they got out on you when you were when you were too small to defend yourself. They did something bad when you couldn't defend yourself back, but you can't blame yourself for something that, you know what I'm saying? And then
Mm-hmm.
and integrating that whole spirit, because I mean, you're 52 and life is like life in right now for everybody. So enjoy your life, man. Love yourself, know that self, enjoy yourself, spend time with them kids, do whatever you're gonna do, but don't spend your time in no regret for fuck shit. Nothing. Not the way this world been damn trying to damn knock distract us and divide us and make sure you weren't happy in the first place. You think this war was just against you? Like we all under war. We gotta understand that, you know what I'm saying? Um no, man, that's you said, and then it goes also back to, you were saying about, you were saying all these different things that was going on in the 60s and the 50s and the 20s, and but what about all these gender wars that been going on before time existed? Because we know that women always been around. We talking about revolution. We know that and all these women tribes, like I said, the Queen Khalifas, the Malis, all these different tribes, the Monroes, all these different tribes of women have always been banging before this so-called time existed. In revolution, it was always a gender war. So we have to acknowledge, if we really acknowledge who we've been at war with since the beginning of the time, they can't eradicate us. But if we realize that they've been taking this war to a whole nother level spiritually and mentally to keep us off our path, you know what I'm saying? And that's just it. The name of the game is to make you forget. So how do you unforget? You do shadow work. That's the name of the game. Everybody say the same thing when you're so called conscious that we had amnesia of who we truly were. Who were you truly? You are your highest version of yourself. You're trying to be your highest version of yourself. How do you figure that out? Doing shadow work. You go in and
Yeah,
look at
yeah, you
where
gotta
they
get
hit.
back to the center.
You got to get back to the center. They locked it away. They try to hide it from you.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
That's
no.
nice.
You said Rose Course. That was an amazing one. Just for self love, like we were telling him, he might need some rose quartz or rotocross site because people always think that's projecting, that just sending love. It's radiating love, but it's also loving yourself and loving who you are as a person. Um, yeah, yeah. Anything else, guys? Did you have any other stones? Anything for us?
Do I got any other gems for y'all? um, I am appreciative. I am appreciative for the opportunity to be back on live with you. I look so forward to us just continuing to be able to empower and educate our people. I give honor to all of the things that are divine feminine, and may those things just continue to shine upon me and come very easily. And I will that for each of the sisters that are here. I will that for each of the brothers that are willing to lean into their divine feminine energy. I will also that all of us can be able to balance our divine masculine energy so that we are able to um, better harmonize and balance out one another. And yeah, shop with Orisha Stone. Go follow Orisha Stone on Instagram and check out these amazing pieces that are created. Check me out on Instagram at Rebel Divine. Also check us out at Timbuktu ATL. Yeah, yeah, it's going to be a very amazing August.
I say
And
Black
we
August.
are off to a great start with this very infectious Leo energy and these amazing portals that have opened up us to new ciphers in our lives. And so may all of us just stay encouraged and may we all be working to bring the unconscious to the conscious.
I
That's
say the unique tribe said, I say keep your frequency high, live life with no regrets, positive thoughts, create positive situations. I say.
I
Um,
say.
everything you said, most definitely. It was one more thing I did want to ask you, and I can't remember now. I know as soon as we get off, I remember. Black August by Killer Priest. Appreciate that. That's gems right there. God
Mm,
said, check out the song Black August by Killer Priest. I'm
okay.
definitely a divine masculine and divine. Yeah, we all when the God has said something, that's what it was. Thank you for reminding me, God mode. You said embrace that Leo energy. And people, they really got us messed up in the head thinking that this is just for the Leos and everything else. No, you are all these zodiac signs. All the Orishas are in you. All the zodiac signs are in you. All these different things are within you. You are divine masculine. You are divine feminine. Once we tapping into that and then overstand, like I say, going back to those 42 laws of Maat and acknowledging like you're a reflection of me, I'm a reflection of you. Yeah, like the whole world, matriarch rising. I'm stay blessed, Miss Ashe Goddess. Man, they say they love you, they appreciate you.
Yeah, too.
You want to give people your cash app just in case any of these young men want to support you?
Oh yeah, I would appreciate that. I love you guys too. I that means a whole lot. You guys can donate to my cause, which is as a socio emotional intelligence teacher. I also intern for Show Improve Youth Outreach, and I host free events in the community. I develop curricula to be able to investigate our shadows, and that also includes emotional intelligence and self control and self management skill development. So I would love donations to be able to just continue my work and continue to be able to bring healing in all forms that my community needs. So you guys can see me cash apps at the $ DOUCEURIM, which is do sir I am. So please feel free to use that. I do not mind. And if you need it again, you guys can go follow me on Instagram and ask for it there, and I can write it out for you. So
Yes,
thank you.
support
I
the guy.
appreciate that.
Yeah, now people be acting like it's a big thing, and then we waste money on fast food and everything else. So now support real people, man. Support real things. These
Mhm.
people out here, like she's being modest, but they're doing things for kids. She just told you she has children. She just told you she's doing all these positive things. Went to school, got all these degrees, and being a single, I mean, a black mother in general, and taking her taking care of business. So if you want to support, there's nothing wrong with that. Like we got to get out this. Like okay, the most revolutionary thing we can do is love again, to love black women. Like we can say, we love black women. We don't mind loving and taking care. That's what our natural instinct is. You just gotta be hurt, and
Mhm.
vice versa. You know what I'm saying? The most revolutionary thing we can do right now is fall back in love with black people again. You know what I'm saying? So peace and blessings,
Right.
guys. Appreciation and peace and blessings to the tribe, unique tribe. We love you. You always in the building. Peace and blessings. Everybody show love. We show y'all love right back, man. Black August 3, shadow work. Peace.
Peace.